Welcome back to Viking Times. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Eddie. Today, I'm here with Nick and Mr. Nguyen, and we're going to talk about a growth mindset. Come with us.
Thank you, Eddie, for the great intro. So let's talk about the definition of growth mindset first, right? Which is the opposite of a fixed mindset. And growth mindset is basically having a mindset that's willing to learn from mistakes, willing to face on challenge head on. And then as you go through the challenges, you develop, not giving up. Where a fixed mindset would say, hey, this is too difficult for me, so that's it, I cannot do anything. But with a growth mindset, you don't think of that way. You look at the problem and then, hey, what can I do from here to solve this particular problem? So what is your experience why being a high school student, now you're seniors, has your mindset mold from a fixed mindset to a more growth mindset?
Oh, okay. I feel like not only as a high school student, but as a person in general, I used to just do so much immature stuff, and I just used to do all this bad stuff, and I feel like over time it got old. I got bored of it, so then I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just not do that stuff. If that makes sense.
You learn to be more accountable for your action, right?
I learned actions have consequences, like positive or negative. It's just, ever since I was like, okay, let me make better decisions, and over time, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I still make mistakes to this day, but I think about my actions before I do them.
And that's a perfect example of having a growth mindset. You're able to reflect on your action and the consequence that you learned from the past.
Yeah.
How about you, Nicholas? You play sport as well, right?
Yeah, I play sports. Yeah. Let's just say in sports and in life, they're the same thing when you're thinking about mindset growth. Because in sports, if you let's say you fill out a task, you can't really throw the ball or shoot at something, then you just keep on trying until you get it. And I feel like that kind of relates to how life works too. Because, in life you can make 1,000 mistakes, but as long as you find a solution, you're set. You can be set for life.
And it takes a lot of effort and time.
Yes.
And you mentioned sport, right? It takes a lot of practice. We don't just get good at a certain sport, but we get good at it by practicing every day, spend a lot of effort, and having the determination to practice itself is very, very difficult as well. So let's go back to the ideas of growth mindset. And one of the things that they point out was able to persist when you face a setback. What does that really mean is that can you continue when you face a challenge? Let's say you have a problem, solving a math problem, right? And not everybody naturally solve a math problem off the bat. It takes time. Able to solve a problem in life and able to continue to solve that same problem, even the chance of being successful is small. That is extremely important. Do you have any particular experience in your life where you face a particular problem and you continue to persevere through it?
Yeah, with a lot of stuff, especially playing an instrument, I play guitar, and there's a lot of mistakes and you mess up, but then it's you train yourself and you just keep going until you succeed.
Okay. And it takes time to perfect that particular skill set.
Yeah.
How about you, Nicholas? What sport do you play?
I play water polo and swim.
Oh, nice.
And what's the question again?
What position? The question is, in water polo or in swim, okay, do you face a particular challenge that kind of make you give up? But how do you overcome that give up or that mindset?
I think this is just me, but I've never really experienced anything that makes me want to give up. But I have experienced times where I feel very slow while swimming, and I just know I have to keep on pushing myself. So I just keep on doing that over and over again until I get it just right.
Okay, swimming, right? Especially swimming is such a difficult sport because sometimes, especially in water polo, there's so many things happening at the same time. You have to be very competitive, and a lot of time, let's go back in sport in general. You don't get to win all the time. How does your mindset change, knowing that losing is okay, or winning is great, but losing is part of learning as well?
Wait, what's the question?
How do you deal with losing?
To be honest, I've never really cared much about losing. I'm sad, yes, that I lost, but I try my best the next time. I don't just stop there.
Okay, so that's part of a growth mindset, is knowing when mistakes are made and you use it as the opportunity to push yourself. And now in first period, we talk about how this one particular student shared a story about her dad looking for a job, but he couldn't get hired because they're looking for years of experience. But if the company are not willing to take a risk on a new employee, how are you going to hire anyone who's dedicated, who could be the heart that changed the whole entire company? And it turned out her dad later on realized it. His skill set was unappreciated by the owner. So he went out and found his own company and become very successful at it. So that is super awesome, right? And that's one thing sometimes we don't realize until at the very end we look back to it. Hey, look, this thing happened, but it pushed me to go above and beyond, rather than just stay to the normal limit or stay to the norm. But they went above and beyond. Look, I can do better. And that's the purpose of having a growth mindset. And that's sometimes really difficult, even for most adults. Like they're afraid of things that are new, and so they give up. You burn yourself out, and those progress doesn't go anywhere, and you give up. That's the biggest part of the growth mindset. Because we believe in the ideas that hard work pay off. But what happens when hard work doesn't pay off? Because we don't really see that payout instantly. It takes time. But sometimes you just need to take a break from working hard, a break from trying, and recoup yourself. And in any sport, we always watch a replay, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in water polo or football, we watch a replay, and the replay is extremely critical. And in this morning, our students share a Twitch streamer. His name is Tyler, and basically he usually play League of Legends. And what we learned that by just recording himself and live streaming, he became one of the best League of Legends players. And that's a big part in life as well, and a big part of growth mindset. And we're going to transition that into something called criticism. When you get criticized by people, how does that make you feel? How do you filter out a bad criticism from a constructive one?
Oh, yeah.
So do you have any particular story that you would like to share about people criticizing you?
Yes, I have. When I first started playing guitar, a lot of criticism I got was super. I had negative, I had positive, I had constructive, right? I was getting like criticism all around 24/7, and honestly, I was like, some of it was cool, some of it was like whatever, and some of it was like, oh, okay. As it's honestly, I was just doing me. I was learning, and honestly, I would record myself playing, and I would watch over those recordings and footage, and then I would reflect on how I messed up and my mistakes, and then I would learn from those mistakes, and I would learn to try something different. Okay, this note didn't sound like this, and this didn't work out. Let me try this and see if this did work out, and yeah.
And do you find the joy once you realize that those criticisms actually helped you, right? Because sometimes, especially with social media out there, there's a lot of people who just like to criticize others just for our hatred or our jealousy,
crazy,
right? And like they find the minute thing or the little thing to make fun of you.
The littlest thing to say, and I'm just like,
and there's no need for it. And that's why our kid today, or student today, need to realize that you need to able to filter criticism. Yeah. And that's a big part of having a developed growth mindset. If you don't, then you just get stuck in that world where you feel ashamed, afraid of people comment as well. How about you?
And then it's stupid that like people do that, because dude, you could be doing so much stuff with your time, right? Mm-hmm. You could find a way to make money, you could find a way to do all kinds of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Or even like just anything with your time, but yet you want to come here on my account, my page, my post, and take time out of your day just to say something to me.
Exactly.
So if you don't like it, just move on, dude. Like
exactly. So for those our audience out there, if you are one of those people, we challenge you instead of focus on so much the negative. Find something positive. Find something positive to tell someone, to inspire someone, to motivate one. Because sometimes your kind word will push them to be better rather than that negative criticism. If you are going to provide one, be constructive. What can that particular student to do better, right? And we challenge you so that way you create a more positive community. How about you, Nicholas? Do you have any particular experience or know anyone?
Yeah, I've had experience of criticism and constructive criticism, but I'm not really sure if it's considered, but I've had my coach at least talk down to me. He broke down the bad stuff, but then he breaks up the good stuff. And then he tells me how to fix the bad stuff as well.
Nice. And that's the way it should be, right? That's the way it should be. And sometimes it's hard, especially if you're not used to it. Now, one thing I want to talk about, an example that we look at here is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan used to play baseball, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then he transitioned to basketball. He didn't find great success in baseball. He's still successful, but where is he success in?
Yeah.
He's well known for his basketball playing skill, right?
And his shoes.
And his shoes.
Sometimes the other day I was in a shoe store, and I heard these people talking about like Michael Jordan, right? And they thought he was a fashion designer or someone.
Oh,
like,
really?
Someone that makes shoes. And I'm like, no, he's a basketball player. And then I showed them, and they're like, no way. But that's before I knew what the shoe Jordans were. That's how I knew Michael Jordan was the basketball player.
Because he says
And then I found
he
out
played
what
a long
Jordan
time
played.
ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then I put two and two together. I was like, oh, wait, this guy plays basketball, owns this shoe. And then, yeah, it's clicked.
And he's making $1 billion on
Oh,
the
yeah.
shoe because he got commission for every single Jordan shoe that sold. Not just, he didn't get just a contract by a fixed amount, but every Jordan shoe sold, he got a commission. So he continued to make money. That's a great accomplishment, right? And another one that we saw was J.K. Rowling. Do you know who she is?
Yeah,
Harry
she
Potter.
is the author for Harry Potter.
And we learned an amazing facts about her, that her books get rejected multiple times.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
so
heard of that.
yeah, multiple times. And can you imagine that she went through when her book rejected multiple times, but now become one of the best-selling books global-wise, multi-billion-dollar.
Oh yeah, no, she's a really good artist.
So what does that tell you about rejection? Rejection in general. What does that mean? For if you get rejected, one day you're gonna apply for a job, and you get rejected for that particular job. What should the audience or anybody should feel like?
Honestly, I would say don't let it put you down. Look at it like, okay, I got rejected from this or this didn't work out. What can I do where I can find another solution where something good can work out? Or keep doing and keep trying in different ways where it would work out. Never back down, never give up. That's all I got to say.
Very cool. Yes, very good comment there. Because in life, because one person's perspective does not mean the world perspective, right? And as you are going to become an adult one day and you will run a business one day, you have to realize that one person's perspective does not define your outcome. Does not define your total audience. Because there are over what's the population today world? 7 billion people?
No, it's more like 8.
Yeah,
There's
it's more
8 billion
I
people, right?
remember.
And all you need is
8 billion people on this earth.
And all you need to be successful is just get 1 million of people to believe in you, or even get 100 people believe in your product. And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
So if you cannot find one person to appreciate who you are, move on to the next one.
Oh yeah.
Move on to the next one. Move on to the next one until you find the one appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't give up.
Exactly.
Chances are, if you put you in a room with, I don't know, we'll say 50 people, and you give them your idea, and say all these people shoot it down, at least one person in there, I'm not even gonna say one, at least 5 people in there will like your idea, because it's like everyone has different opinions.
Exactly.
On
Or
this
even
shit.
if they
That's-
just heard your ideas and they think about it when they go home. Right?
Oh yeah.
They don't have to say yes to you right away. So you have to look at the data, and you have to be constructive and find what is going on and make your own decision. Because let's say one day you become a millionaire and you are investing in a new company. You cannot just, oh, I like that person, I'm going to invest all my money in here. No, you have to realize, you have to evaluate, right? You have to evaluate, do I trust that person, right? Do I trust the person with my money? Do I trust that person with my time? And that's the key thing as well. For those people who are watching our episode there, right? Realize that, don't give up, right? Realize that there are 8 billion people in this world. If 7 billion of those people don't agree with your ideas, all it takes is 1 billion to make you a billionaire.
And hey, if you ask me, honestly, you get $1 each from at least 1 billion people, it's a lot of money,
You
man.
become a billionaire, exactly. How about you, Nicholas? Do you have any particular comment?
About what the question?
About the
or just-
ideas of getting rejected. It's okay to be rejected.
Yeah, I think as long as it doesn't affect you mentally enough.
Positive.
You don't-
We want it to affect you mentally, but in a positive way.
Yes, as long as it doesn't bring you down,
Mm-hmm.
then you're ready to go on another journey.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many millionaires out there, or even billionaires out there, are rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to find their own business.
Oh.
A lot of those great entrepreneurs are rejected the first
Oh,
time
yeah.
when they apply for a job, to the point they had to find the opportunity themselves by creating their own opportunity, by creating their own business. So that's the key thing. You cannot rely on people to see the values that you have. You have to find your own value and pursue it to the next level. So that's right. For those who are following us, don't let people define who you are, but you define yourself. As long as you are committed to it, as long as you have a passion for it, live through it, and persevere through it, you will be more likely to be successful.